get started here. Now, first of all, how would you like me to address you?
Well, you know what, Bob? Me name is Slimey Bottom, but you can address me as Slime because you're me friend.
Thank you, Slime. I'm honored.
Now, I got to tell you, I was a cod fisherman in Newfoundland for years and years, but there's no fish left. So I had to move over to the Newfoundland government, where I was a minister of the fine government of the best province in Canada. Now, the folks from Ontario won't think that because they think it's the center of the universe, but anyway. And I is the Minister for Extramarital Affairs. At your service. So there you go, Bob.
Last year you came by boat, but how'd you get here this year?
Oh, boy, I don't go by boat anymore. It's too scary. There's big waves and there's corona, there's all kinds of stuff out there. So this time I came by plane, but I came in one of those boutique airlines, they call it, where there's this little planes, it's like Cessna 4-seaters, and it's called Come From Away Airlines from Gander, Newfoundland, my son.
I like that.
But you hear about the problem we had last week over there?
No.
It was a terrible tragedy, because one of their planes came down in a cemetery in Twillingate and everybody was killed.
How many were killed?
Well, they're digging up bodies. They got 385 so far, but they're still counting.
Well, you've had a time of it down there, but how was your winter?
Oh, Lord, you never seen a winter like we had up there. The hurricanes, they get down south. We get them all up here in our Newfoundland, except for the difference is you get snow with them instead of rain. We had so much snow up there this winter that I put more miles on my snowblower than I put on my truck. And not just that, but the last time I used it in that big storm, the thing conked out halfway through the storm and it stalled there and it's still where we left it in the storm and it's on top of my roof.
Well, you must have had a time of it. But how's Rusty? How's he doing?
Rusty? You remember Rusty, do you?
I do from last year.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah, well,
I didn't think anybody would remember Rusty. Rusty's me brother, me stupid brother. Anybody out here got a stupid brother? Well, I tell you, my son Rusty, he holds the, I don't know what he holds, but anyway, it doesn't matter. He is the stupidest guy you ever wanted to see. He couldn't get his truck started, so he comes over and sees me and says, Slimey, can you help me get my truck going? He says, I think there's water in the fuel injection. I said, no, there's never water in fuel injection. That's not like a carburetor. And he says, no, I know there's water in there. I said, look, will you give me a break? I don't think there's any water in it. He says, well, come and look at it anyway. So I said, okay, I'll go take a look at it. Where is it? He said, at the bottom of the harbor. It's something terrible, I tell you. And his buddy Clyde, he lives in a nice subdivision. He's got a nice house. And his buddy Clyde went to see Rusty the other day, and he said, Rusty, what are you doing? Your bedroom's in the front of the house, and everybody can see in. And he said, the other night you were in there with Patty, and that's Rusty's wife, and you were getting all frisky and everything, and the whole neighborhood was out here, and they was having a great laugh watching the whole thing. And Rusty got right mad, and he said, well, I'll have you know the laugh is on them because I wasn't even home. Now, Rusty, he decided that he wanted to go visit Toronto. He'd never been off the Rock. And the Rock being Newfoundland, that's what we call it over there. And so he gets his buddy, Todd, and they decides they're going to go over to Toronto to see what's going on. So they takes a flight to Toronto. When they get off the airplane, they're desperate to get something to eat. And so they go to the nearest restaurant to the airport, and there's a place called Wieners. And they go into Wieners, and Rusty stands at the counter with his buddy. And he says, I'll have 2 orders of fish and chips with all the fixings, please, and make sure that's codfish. And the guy says at the restaurant, we don't serve fish here. We just serve hot dogs, jumbo hot dogs. Well, okay, we'll take a couple of them then. So the hot dogs arrive. Rusty opens his hot dog, takes a look at it. He says, oh my God, what part of the dog did you get? Now, Patty, she won the lottery. That's his wife, right? And she's fed up with this guy because, like I said, he's stupider than stupid. So she comes through the door of the house and she says, quick, quick, Rusty, pack your bags. I won the lottery. And she says, and Rusty, he says, well, where are we going? We going to the Mediterranean? We going to the Caribbean or Mexico? Where are we going? She said, I don't give a damn where you go, but get out. Anyway, that's enough about Rusty. That never happened before. Anyway, I got to tell you about this ventriloquist. He came from Toronto, one of these big shot ventriloquists, right? And he comes to Mary's town, Newfoundland, to put on a show, and he goes into the Legion there to put on a show. And Mary's town is a pretty dismal little place. Like all the seagulls, when they goes overhead, they turn upside down because there ain't nothing worth pooping on it. That's it. So anyway, the ventriloquist, he gets all set up inside there, and he's going to put on his act, and he's got his dummy, and the dummy's on his lap, and so he starts, and he tells some jokes, and then before you know it, he's telling a joke about a dumb blonde. And he's done this up in Upper Canada, and it's never had any bad reaction, but all of a sudden, this lady in the third row, she jumps out of her seat, and she gets on her chair, and she yells out, "How dare you? How dare you? That's demeaning for you to stereotype blondes like that, and any woman for that matter. What's the color of the hair got to do with my worth as a human being?" And not only that, but being respected at work in the community is important to me, and all you can do is you have this discrimination against me and all women, and all in the name of your sick humor. Well, buddy, he's never seen a reaction like this, and he wants to apologize. So he says, well, he gets ready to speak, and she says, "I'm not talking to you, mister. I'm talking to that little asshole on your knee." And I was going down the streets of St. John, and I've seen one of my old buddies there from Charlie from long ago. And I said, "Charlie, how you doing?" He says, "I'm okay. I'm not the best, but I'm okay." "Well, what's the matter?" And I said, "You still working at the pickle factory?" He said, "No, I'm not working at the pickle factory anymore. I got fired." "Well, you got fired? What'd you get fired for?" "Well, I caught me pickle I caught me penis in the pickle slicer." And I said to him, "Well, that's terrible. That must have hurt like heck." But why would they fire you for that? That doesn't make any sense. What happened to the pickle slicer?" "Well, she got fired too." You're going to have to get organized, my son. These Newfoundland winds, you know what they do to you. Anyway, and I was on a bus in St. John's. I hadn't taken a bus for years and years. And I'm in this bus, and I'm at the front of the bus, and I'm seeing this action going on in the bus because it's full, and they still got straps there, and people holding on for dear life. And the bus is totally full. There's this old Newfoundland guy, and he's not nearly as good looking as me, and he's standing there, and he's minding his own business. But at the next stop, on board gets this young punk rocker. And this punk rocker has got leather on, and he's got chains, and he's got earrings in his ears, and in his nose, and in his lips. But he's got this big rooster haircut. And this rooster haircut is all the colors of the rainbow. You've got pink, and you've got yellow, and you've got red, and everything. Anyway, he's standing next to the Newfoundlander. He's holding the strap, and the old Newfie's looking at him curious-like, and he's checking him out from all the angles. He doesn't know what's going on. Well, the young guy gets a little bit self-conscious, so he moves down the bus about halfway. Well, doesn't the old Newfoundlander follow him down and keep doing the same thing? He's checking him out from all the angles. Then they get to the back of the bus, and the Newfoundlander follows him to the back of the bus. And finally, the young guy gets mad, and he looks at this old Newfoundlander. He says, "Didn't you ever do anything stupid in your life?" The old fella looks at him and says, "Yes, indeed I did. Once I had sex with a chicken, and I think you might be my son." Now, I think it's time to recognize a very special guest that we got in here. There's people in this park that make being in the park special and work hard at doing that all the time.